Hey, folks. Carson City and a bunch of other places. I've made it, folks. Well, how you guys doing? Did you have a good day today? I got to tell you, I had the best day ever today. I went to Staples to see if they sold staples. Tomorrow I'm going to Dick's. Folks, I moved recently. I had to get some new running gear. I didn't know where to go. So I Googled, Dick's near me. 10 minutes later, there's a line around the block in front of my house. I'm so traumatized I can't even think about getting cable. No way I'm going to Google how to get cocks in my house. Well, I'm a Vegas guy. I love living in Vegas. I am totally smitten with our high-end restaurants. We have the best good restaurants in the world. I went out to one a couple of weeks ago. Server comes over. She's wearing a button that says, "Hello, Ruby." But she doesn't spell it with a B-Y. B-I. Okay, fine. Comes over to take my order. I said, "Hello, Guy." "No, I'm not. I like girls." She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, your button, it says hello. Are you bi?" And that was the first time I got thrown out of Chuck E. Cheese. Bar scene here is nuts. I was out getting a drink the other night. I saw a woman get her nipple pierced right in the middle of the bar. In a related story, I suck at darts. Fun time to be in Vegas. We are right in the middle of our big money convention season. It kicked off with CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. I got to go this year, and I spent most of my time watching the driverless cars. This is so cool, folks, because once you don't need a driver, you can reconfigure the inside of the car however you want. No steering wheel, no seats. Tesla's announced the future version of their car, which will only have a mattress on the inside. Obviously, the hookers love this. Now you can get a Hummer and a Hummer. Rammed in a Ram, probed in a probe, an escort and an escort, an STD and an SUV. Wouldn't that be the greatest commercial? Are you looking for an STD and an SUV? Introducing the Ford Bareback. Oh my God. This year was awesome because all the shows came back live. Unlike last year where we lost one of our favorites, the AVN Awards. The Academy Awards of porn, folks. It was all set. They were going to have it at the brand new Virgin Hotel. And last minute, they canceled. First time ever, a bunch of porn stars pulled out of a Virgin. And of course, they had to cancel. I mean, talk about a super spreader event. For those of you from out of town, if you want to get an idea about how much sex goes on in this town, in your hotel room, go out and get one of those fluorescent crime scene lights. It'll look like the Blue Man Group got shot out of a wood chipper. The Intel Corporation has recently announced that they have perfected a microcomputer chip that can be inserted into the human body and it will evaluate your health on a permanent basis. Isn't that amazing? We're replacing doctors. But I don't like it. Something that monitors me 24 hours a day and tells me everything that's wrong with me? I already have a wife. It was her birthday a couple of weeks ago. I asked her, "What can I get you this year?" She said, "Because of the pandemic, all we've been doing is saving money. But things are better now. So how about this year? You get me something really expensive." So I got her a dozen eggs. Isn't it insane? I was at my favorite gas station recently. I don't want to brag about how well my comedy career is going, but I was filling up. And I watched this car pull into pump number 1. He gets $10 worth of gas, and it gives him just enough gas to get to pump number 2. And where's all the money going? Overseas? Saudi Arabia? Oh my God, they've got so much cash over there. The Saudi government recently announced that they are banning the use of Botox in camels for camel beauty pageants. And the reason everyone wants an edge is that the cumulative prize money is $126 million. For who's got the prettiest camel? And camels aren't even that hot. I mean, some of them are. The ones with the two big humps. Oh my God, I'm a hump guy. Those are at least 56 triple J's. They're all natural and they're pointing north. You gotta love a camel. And don't get me going about their toes. Isn't that horrible? Camel toe, how disrespectful. I mean, if we're gonna rename the erogenous zone of a woman after the body part of an animal, why don't we call it what it is? Bullseye! No, this year I got my wife tickets for Rod Stewart for her birthday. Fantastic. Oh, Caesar's Palace, 2-hour show. The man destroyed the place. And the night that we were there, he was celebrating his 78th birthday. I even got to sneak some drugs into the show. It was like the old days. Except now I'm old. So the drugs were X-Lax and Cialis. They hit at the same time right in the middle of the show. I didn't know if I was coming or going. We went out before the show. We had chicken and waffles for dinner, and they served it with an authentic bourbon syrup, so authentic it had real bourbon in it, and they didn't tell us. My wife's been sober for 40 years. She gets wrecked on a half a waffle. They get to the show, she's trashed. She's like, "Hey, Rod, over here, look at me." I said, "Woman, you are in your 60s with arthritis. How did you get on my shoulders?" And I'm not one to nitpick, but you're not facing the stage. My whole face went numb. Num, 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 num. Me want cookie. Now, this is just a few weeks ago. We had to show a Vax card in order to get in. I can't believe it. I'm so happy I got vaccinated. I wasn't gonna. Originally, I said I'm not putting anything in my body that could kill me. And I thought about that as I finished my cigarette. Had a half a dozen shots, got back in my car, drove to my favorite gas station, got some sushi and a Red Bull, and said, "Who am I kidding? I'm dead already." We got the shot at the same time. We felt invincible. Said, "We got to do something dangerous. What do you want to do?" Zip line up Fremont Street. No. Bungee jump off the top of the stratosphere. No. So we did the most dangerous thing that you can do in Las Vegas. We went to Circus and had the $1.99 buffet. I went and got the Pfizer. My wife gets the Johnson & Johnson. I asked her, "Why'd you get that one?" She said, "Well, our sex life has been a little bit boring, and I just want to remember what it's like to have 2 Johnsons in me." Folks, I married a sex addict, but I cured her. Took years of bad sex on my part, but I got her down from every night to 4 times a year. Well, 5 if my birthday falls on a weekend. I was going to bring her tonight, but she tested positive. Yeah, no, not for COVID. Something far worse. Menopause. Oh my God, all we do is fight. We got into it so bad recently. At one point she said to me, "I'm sorry, it's the hormones." I don't know what that means. I thought a hormone was the sound a prostitute made. A little bit of a delay there from some of you, huh? People that haven't broken one word down into 2. It's like Asperger's. You know, what is that? A mental health diagnosis or a new menu item at a strip club buffet? My favorite's firsthand. Is one word. It makes perfect sense. You break that thing down into 2, that's a very confusing article about college internships. Students get firsthand job experience. Now, if I'm 18, depending on how I hear that, I may very well say, "Screw Harvard, I'm going to Vegas Tech." And I tease a lot about my wife, but she's awesome. We've been happily married for 10 years. Yeah. Out of 30. No, she's great. She's super smart. She went to NYU. She's got 2 masters. I'm not one of them. Biggest problem we have in our relationship is she gives me a hard time about my shortcomings. You know, shortcomings. First time we were going to make love, she took one look at me and said, "So, what are your pronouns?" Obviously not he. All right, fine. She's got a point. On a cold day, I have an innie. The only time you'll find me buying extra large condoms is when I have to balloon animals for a kid's party. And that was the second time I got thrown out of Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm good with all of it. Except when she stands outside the shower and says, "Good God, did your ex-wife literally get half of everything?" I was telling that story the other week. Right where you're sitting, there was a 19-year-old girl. She yells out, "Hey, how old are you?" So I told her, "I'm 66. She said, "Then what are you doing talking about sex?" Really? What do you think happens when you get older? You collect your first Social Security check and your dick falls off? Hey, Social Security. Well, guess I don't need that anymore. I'm sorry, did I hit you? Brian, she didn't even flinch. If you find it later, it goes great on a charm bracelet. I'd autograph it, but there's really only room for initials. Oh, is there anybody under 25 here? Oh, thank God. Because I always have to stop the show. You know, when you start using some of these some words like I've been using, like, you know, you got to stop the show and say, "A check is a negotiable instrument that's drawn on a bank." Boop. Oh, and a bank is a place where you deposit the money from your job. Oh, and a job, it can go on for weeks. My wife's actually my second wife. I was single for 12 years before I met her. I hated being single because I just don't like dating. But once I dated a girl who was 30 years younger than me. Oh, I didn't know I had that much money. And in a few weeks, I didn't. I met her online. We're chatting on the computer. She says, "Hey, I love tall men. How tall are you?" So I told her I'm 6'4". "How tall are you?" She said, "Well, it depends. In heels, I'm 5'7". In flat shoes, I'm 5'4". And if you have a job and play your cards right, I'm 3'2". Say what you want. The sex was insane. I had no idea what was going on. One night she said to me, "Choke me, Daddy." So I gave her 2 biscuits from Popeyes and nothing to drink. Showed her. Then I met the woman who would become my wife. We had a magical first date. We went to dinner. We had drinks. I remember looking deeply into her eyes, and suddenly my hands got clammy. My heart started racing. And it was at that moment that I knew I'd roofied the wrong drink. Later on that night, we went back to my place. She spent the night, and she never left. And I know, you're looking at me going, this does not get girls. And you're right, but I have a secret, and I want to share it with you. Fellas, if you want a woman to spend the night at your place on the first date, you got to date the homeless. Oh, especially in the winter. God, if you've got even a little bit of heat in your house, she'll stay till spring. A little bit of sadness going on in my house. My favorite aunt passed. Thank you. She was 95, went comfortably in her sleep. You know, if you got to go, that's the way to go. And it fell to me to figure out how to transport the body back to New York so that she could be buried with her husband. I didn't know what to do, so I called Delta. And they said, yeah, we do that all the time. It's $1,200 one way. One way? How many dead people take round trips? Now look, Delta, I'm on your website right now. It says the first class ticket's $600. What, are you selling her 2 first class tickets? I mean, I appreciate the thoughtfulness. She needs a little extra leg room. She is pretty stiff. Shame on you. But she doesn't need the cushy seats and the free drinks. Come on, you got to do better. And they said, nope, it's $1,200, and by law, she has to fly in cargo. With the luggage? Delta stands for don't expect luggage to arrive. Now, what, are you going to call me in 6 weeks and say, well, we found her. She's on a baggage carousel in Guam. Now, look, here's what we're going to do, Delta. I'm going to buy a coach ticket, and we are going to weekend at Bernie's this thing. Going to put her in a hat, some sunglasses. You can put her anywhere you want in coach. Back row, middle seat between 2 gassy fat guys. I promise she won't complain. And they said, no, that's not how it works at Delta. So I called UPS. This is the way to go, folks. $2 a pound, got her there overnight. Somebody had to sign for her. They even threw in a free box tape and packing peanuts. Okay, that silence was a little judgy. But remember, she's my favorite aunt. I did right by her. And I actually determined that there's 9 inches more leg room in a UPS box than there is on Spirit Air. So from now on, I'm flying UPS. My wife comes up to me at the funeral. She says, you know, we are soulmates, and we're going to be together for eternity. I said, I have video evidence that you vowed that this thing is till death do us part. Here's how I look at it. I've been a good boy my whole marriage. When I'm dead, I want a date. That too much to ask? In the next life, Daddy wants some strange. Then she goes and raises the stakes. She says, you know what? After we're both passed, we should be cremated and share an urn. Are you out of your mind? We can't be alone in the car together for an hour without fighting. Suddenly you want to spend all of eternity in some I Dream a Genie bottle? Are you changing your plans for the... But I was able to get out of it. I told her, look, I would love to do this, both get cremated, share an urn, but you have OCD. Everything has to be immaculate. You would vacuum up my ashes in the first day. And now we have plots. You're my favorite. Can I just hire you to go to every show? So I'm the father of 3, and as of a month ago, the grandfather of 1. Yeah, thanks. You guys are very cool. Yeah, it was a tough pregnancy for her, and it was a 43-hour labor. Whew. But they paid for it. You know, it was a fixed cost, so I figure her cost per hour, you know, justified the whole thing. Even getting pregnant was hard for her. She called me once in tears, and she said, I don't know what to do. We're out of options. I think we're going to try artificial insemination. So this year for my birthday, would you pay for our first treatment? Exactly. I said, what, are you out of your mind? Pay for your first treatment? You see, you made me lose track. The headline? That's the headline?
No, the headline of you paying for the first treatment. That's your next joke.
Thank you, Brian. I'm now going to drink a glass of water, and Brian's going to do the rest of my act. That's okay. But it's tough, So she goes and has the kid. That's the easy part. 43 hours, nothing in comparison to having to raise a kid these days. Oh my God, I got lucky. All I had to do is teach my kids about the birds and the bees. Now you got to teach them about the birds and the birds, the bees and the bees, the bees that want to be birds, the birds that used to be bees, but still have a stinger. Just can't do it. All right, well, it's going to be time to wrap this up tonight, and I would like to celebrate the fact that if it wasn't for her, at 66 years old, I remembered everything. I'm only teasing. It's tough when you get older. I find that I'm playing this new game now with my health. It's called Is It Permanent? Get up in the morning, well, my knee hurts. Well, guess I'm done walking. Or you have blurry vision. Well, I've read enough for one lifetime. And 66 by today's standards, not that old. But things are starting to change. At this point in life, friends with benefits is someone who can drive at night. Fun being able to do comedy later in life. Nobody can heckle me. It's illegal. Because it's not heckling. It's elder abuse. And that's a felony. That's all good, folks. Not everybody can go to a Rod Stewart show and say, I saw you in 78 and I saw you turn 78. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. That's it for us. Thank you so much. You have been a kind and generous audience. Am I back to you?
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Guy Fessenden.